You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Sponsored by Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio, and I'm with Emily and Gareth.
Hi, Frank.
It's a cold Saturday morning.
It's absolutely freezing. It's absolutely freezing.
I'm with you. Good. And there'll be people listening to this in, the Bahamas thinking, But if that's all you've got to think in the Bahamas...
Some of my ex-boyfriends, probably.
Yeah? What? From the Bahamas? They're Bartians? Is that the Bahamas or is that Barbados?
No.
Barbados, our expert tells me. What are they called? Bahami. Bahami Army?
They're called Baha men.
Are they?
Baha men.
I bet they could be.
Yeah. Why not?
Is there military force known as the Bahami Army? You wouldn't let that pass, would you? If you want to text us about anything, why would you? You're thinking, but some of you will, because we have correspondence of a regular kind. You can text us on 8 12 15. Simple as that. And our guest today is Rob Deering, my dear friend, Rob Deering. And I'll tell you one very marvellous thing about Rob Deering, shall I? He instigated this. The first time he was on, this is why I played Deer Hunter. It's become something of a leitmotif, as Wagner would say. Not that one! Not that one, the old one! I know he's quite old, but I mean the German fascist.
Yeah, the really old
writer.
one, the dead old one.
Yeah, the one who wasn't fiddling benefit. Yeah. So, allegedly...
We don't know that Wagner didn't fiddle benefits.
I don't know. Did they have benefits then?
I think so.
I think people just died. If they,
you just went to the workhouse and that was it.
Is that right? Because there'll be people at home now saying, yeah, them was the good old days. But that'll just be in my house. So we had a bit of a works outing this week, I think it's fair to say.
Oh, I loved it.
We went to the Union Chapel in the north of London to see E. John. As I always call him. Elton, yeah. I always think he must get letters to Mr. E. John. I don't know why, but I like that idea.
Maybe they're just Dear John.
Yeah, Dear John letters he gets.
That's what he gets.
A bit formal, isn't it? Perhaps from someone who was in the year above him at the school. Because he wasn't called that then, he was called Reg Dwight. That's his real name. Yes. So,
it was a good evening, wasn't it?
I always think that about Candle in the Wind. If Marilyn Monroe had been alive, wouldn't she have thought, why do you have to use my old name? Use my proper name. If I wrote a tribute to him, saying, oh, Reg Dwight, you may lack things in height, but not in talent. If he'd say, why use that name? The bit I
don't think that's the problem he'd have with that.
Oh, really? The worst, I think, he was brilliant. We should establish. He was amazing.
He was amazing.
It was just him and a piano and no band or anything.
What I like, Frank, is that you and I were so shocked at how he could sing so well. We both went, his voice is great.
And he plays the piano really well. It took me 40 years to work out that Elton John can sing and play the piano. Could you believe that? And I'll tell you something else. He's 60. Good head of hair. Lustrous. I mean, lustrous.
He's got got good hair.
But I was on about really bushy in parts.
Frank.
So
he had a lot of clothes on as well.
He had 2 coats on.
One was a cassock, I thought.
Because it was in a church.
A cassock and a frock coat.
It was in a church. The Union Chapel is a fabulous venue, I must say. I saw Shawaddy Waddy there in 74.
You did.
I must say they ripped the place up with their fluorescent draped jackets. I've never seen anything like it. The Guardian. And he was... he did have 2 coats on. I think he thought it'd be a bit cold in a church.
Oh, he was wrong.
He can afford it. He can afford 2 coats.
He can afford 2. I'm sure he's got loads of coats, but he can leave some at home. He doesn't have to wear them. What's he worried about? Burglary?
You want to show it off?
Yeah.
You've got it.
He sort of put a coat on and thought, you know what I'll do? I'll put another coat on. To hell with it.
There were loads of Absolute friends there. The OC was there.
Yeah, the OC, Christian O'Connor.
I got friends with his wife. She's my new friend.
Is that right?
Yeah, I loved her.
She's making a special announcement Monday morning, the OC, according to my the things I have to read out before the news. I say have to. Don't need to think I'm under any sort of duress.
She guessed my age and said I was 8 years younger than I am. But she then did ask me if I'd had work done, which took away from the compliment slightly.
Oh, really? Yeah, but she seemed very nice.
Yeah, I liked her.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, I thought am I not right that Elton John has just stumbled once, I think, in his career, and that was that one line in "Candle in the Wind" when he says, "Marilyn was found in the nude." I don't like that.
Why not?
Just something in the nude. No.
Oh, when have you come over all puritanical?
No, I don't mind the subject matter. It doesn't. It's not a good ending. In the nude. No.
I noticed.
Rethink that.
That's Bernie Taupin anyway. He writes the lyrics.
Yeah, but Elton should have said, "Bernie, you know I love you. You know I love you, but
Should
I don't like.
say nicer in the nuddy.
I don't like.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
Starkers. Marilyn was found. Starkers. Yeah, that was it.
Frank, there were quite a few interlopers, though. I mean, Ian Wright,
Well,
fair
those are the
enough.
things with the horns.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had some texting on 8, 12,
Thank goodness, I
15.
was starting to think there was no one out there.
What do you call someone who is from Barbados?
Is it not a Bartian?
Well, we've had 138,
My
as Gareth
favourite
would
Bartian
say.
was it's a sitcom I wrote about my friend from Barbados. Carry on.
138 says people from Barbados are called Bajans.
Oh, Bajans.
There's some disagreement about it, though. People from Bahamas are called Bahamians. I'm a Bahamian.
Oh, did he write Bahamian Rhapsody?
That's from 138.
Isn't that what old age pensioners call their trousers? Bajans. They usually are Bajans, from what I've seen, from my evidence. Okay, so
So it's all
one
still
of
up for
those.
grabs. All still up for grabs.
Yeah, and Bajans and Bahamians.
Bajans are winning. Bahamians have still got everything to play for. Meanwhile, Frank, can we discuss these interlopers, please, at E. John?
Oh, yeah, the interloper.
Well, fair enough, us lot. Fair enough, the OC.
Well, it was an absolute event, we should point out. It was heavily.
Yeah.
Can you smell paint?
No.
Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit of painting over here.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, a little bit of painting.
Well, I'd rather you didn't. What are you doing?
Well, this cabinet will never be finished if I don't get it painted.
Well, you're painting the cabinet. Surely it requires some sort of varnish. No, I think I had my bathroom done this week, and it's linked. You know, it linked because I could smell it at home, and now I feel I've brought it in my nostril.
Maybe
I'm calling it the Elton John bathroom.
Are you wearing two jackets, Frank?
Oh, he's gone Eltonian. He's gone Eltonian.
It's a tracksuit top and a jacket. I wouldn't normally wear it to work, but it's so cold in here.
I've had to crack out the chunky knit.
Yeah. I wish you wouldn't call Gareth that. Anyway, I call it the Elton John bathroom because 2 coats. Okay, so there'll be people at home thinking, why does he call it the Elton John? I don't want them all sending in texts about that. They can't even decide on the Bahamas. So imagine the consternation. The interlopers. Who are you referring to?
Okay, so Ian Wright, absolutely fair enough.
Ian Wright, right.
He does the show on Absolute Radio, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Fine, I'll let
Doesn't
him.
he?
So
Are you suggesting that you listen to other things?
No, but I do listen to the OC. I love him. But so I'm happy with those few band of brothers. What I did have an objection to is Richard Curtis in row 1. Who rattled his cage? He writes rom-coms. Why is he at the Absolute Radio in the prime spot?
Well, perhaps
and we're back in row 4.
Perhaps he's a personal friend, because there was a moment when Elton said, if any of my friends are here, they can come backstage and see me after. I'm not going anywhere, he said.
Yeah, and he mentioned Andy Roddick, the tennis player who you hadn't heard of.
Well, I thought he was the body shop person.
No!
I don't tennis, you know what I mean? It's not for the likes of me. Well, it's aimed for the likes of me, Mr. Holmes! Yes. I'll tell you one thing I noticed on the... Oh, sorry, do you have another list of interlopers?
No.
What's that? Just those 2?
I just think Richard Curtis I objected to.
Yeah.
And I think that was really it. James Corden was there. I'll let him off.
Yeah. Has he done anything for Absolute Radio?
What has he done for us lately? I don't know.
Matt Lucas was there. Honestly, when I stood next to him, people thought we were twins. It's true. I'll tell you something I noticed on the night. It was a very branded branded, marked with a code. What do you do when you're branded? And then, oh, you're man, whatever you do for the rest of your life. That's one for the Chuck Connors fans. Yeah, it was very branded, very Absolute branded. So there was two big banners with the Absolute crest on. And then, you know, the purple crest. And then there was two big screens behind John with the Absolute crest on as well. And it's the first time it struck me, I've worked here now 18 months, that the symbol for Absolute Radio is the fast forward symbol.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is that what you want to associate with your, it's Absolute Radio? Get that to the end, fast as we can. It's an odd choice, isn't it? Yeah, what about that?
It is.
Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it, the marketing team.
I tell you who I thought was very good looking. The boss.
Elton John?
No, Clive Dickens, the boss.
Did you?
I'm just putting that out there.
That. You would
no,
say
he's very
that.
handsome. He's got it going on. I'm sorry, I'm going to put it out there.
Really? I don't think you should say that about the boss, for goodness.
It's too late, I've said it.
Yeah. I knelt and kissed his hand. I did. I'm happy with that. Little bit. Tasted like marshmallow.
I went off him when he tried to throw me out.
Yeah. Funny enough, that was what won me over.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
You're right.
Chilly in the studio, isn't it?
Yes, we've established that.
It's chilly.
Yeah.
We've had a text from Shane in Bristol. He says...
What, on 8, 12, 15?
Yes.
Did he text us on 8, 12, 15?
Yeah,
Good.
12, 15. 81215.
Oh, no, don't throw a spanner in.
Oh, that's really confused me now.
Frank, how the hell can you pavement race in frosted conditions? Shane in Bristol.
It's dangerous, and we should all. Can I just say that to Alice? I mean, I know I've encouraged pavement racing. Well, it's actually I've always called it pedestrian racing, but it seems that the listeners have decided it's pavement racing, whether I like it or not. So I think I'm going to change to suit them. That is what democracy is all about.
Well, you say that, but we've had an email in from Kevin Bellamy, and he says subject pedestrian racing.
Well, now we're back on course.
Well, exactly. Quite literally, as it turns out in this case. Do you want to hear?
Of course.
Settle down in your chairs.
And it's
a
one
bit
of my
a tale.
great passions. In case you don't know, new listeners start here. If I see someone in the... I walk very, very quickly, so I make a big point of overtaking people, and sometimes they don't want to be overtaken, and we have a bit of a tussle, but I always win. Continue.
Hi, Frank, Gareth and Emily. After listening to your show, I felt inspired to try some pedestrian racing after watching Derby beat Scunthorpe at Pride Park. I waited for the crowd to thin, and then off I went. I was flying past pedestrians.
That wouldn't have took very long, though.
I was flying past pedestrians when an older chap suddenly took up the challenge. The race was on.
An older chap?
At one point, we were almost touching as we raced down the pavement.
That's great, when you get a bit of elbow shoving action.
He was really motoring when I slipped on some wet leaves, allowing him to take the lead. I didn't think I'd catch him, so I had to take a position just behind him, trying to take advantage by slipstreaming.
So, is this Victoria Pendleton?
Just as I was thinking I'd never overtake him, I glanced ahead and made my move. I drew alongside him and used a slow-moving older couple to block him between the fence.
Oh, God, he's got the tactics early.
Wow.
Allowing me to zoom on by. With a big grin on my face, I sped onwards, taking a quick glance back to see that he'd given up. I'm going into full training and would love to take you on to try my hand against a true master, Kevin.
The thing is, Kevin, what the whole thing about pedestrian racing is that you can't organise it. It has to be spontaneous, and it's very important that only one person is fully aware that it's happening. It's very. Otherwise, it's a walking race if you organise it. So the great thing is that the solo joy of the person that you're overtaking, who doesn't know they're in a race, but they start to respond instinctively by speeding up.
They discover too late.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, then they're left in your vapour trail. I like the fact that he's already doing the human shield tactic of walking them into people. I use that with the Big Issue. If I see a Big Issue seller and there's someone else walking up the street, I'll just sit on their shoulders so that I'm blocked as I go. Oh, and also, I've noticed. I don't know if this is morally acceptable, but when I'm
sure it's not.
When I cross the road, I'll always go the sort of safe side of other pedestrians, thinking that if a car careers into us, you know, I might get slightly bruised, but I doubt if I'd be killed if it's taking out 3 people on the way.
Oh, God.
That's all right. That's practical, I think. Oh, yes. So anyway, what's we got? Oh, God, have we got to play another record already? Well, we haven't set up the phone in yet, for goodness sake. You're coming here in your fur Oggs, telling me what to do. Producer's not just wearing Oggs, right? She's wearing buckled Oggs.
Buckled Oggs, a buckled belt, and a Captain Pugwash scarf.
She's very, she used to work at Kerrang, I'll be honest.
She's very ship's mate today.
I wonder what you're going to say then. Put me on edge.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute
Radio.
We're actually getting text now referring to Emma, the producer.
Yeah, do you want to hear this one? It's from Claire in Reigate. Maybe someone needs to tell the producer that Uggs went out last winter.
And they still haven't come back. I'm worried sick.
At Milan Fashion Week, a top designer said, there's someone wearing Uggs in the front row. Move her now, it's not 2008.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that still from Claire?
Yeah.
Is Claire backing it up with evidence?
Claire's got evidence.
Good old Claire. I like the fact that she's quoting.
Claire, don't be harsh, although I think we might get on. We'll talk.
I like an Ogg, but I like an Ogg with a bare leg, you see, which is not an option this weather.
Oh, God.
I think you'd agree with that.
You're not going to get that in these parts.
What's very sexy, when my girlfriend broke her toe, they gave her one of those grey plastic boots that you have to pump up at... it was so sexy.
Not sexy.
No, really, it did look great. We're all different. So, speaking of illness, did you see Gillian McKeith faint?
Oh, I loved it.
On the Jungle programme. What did you think? Real or...
I don't know, I only caught it...
real or no real, I was going to say.
Real or no real. I think it's generally accepted to be unreal.
Mock faint.
Mock faint.
Yeah. I have to say, I have never fainted in my life, right? Consequently, I don't know that I believe in fainting anyway.
I don't not believe in it.
I'm not sure there's ever been a real faint.
Oh, well, I fainted.
Yeah, but I can imagine you, a difficult situation. Someone says, you never return my phone calls. Oh. It'd be classic.
I've used to faint all the time.
Well,
you can't help it.
I don't think you can faint. That's a coma, surely.
No, I did. I had low blood sugar, so it would happen. I fainted on the tube. I fainted in a bar. I fainted in front of Evan Dando at Lemonhead's gig. I'm not joking. I've been carried out a lot.
Yes. Well, I've been carried out a lot, so I've never fainted in my life. Oh, well, what caused blood sugar? Didn't you have a Lucasade? What's the matter with you?
You don't understand, it's a medical thing. But I do think she's a terrible faker. I think she's a terrible faker.
I think she's a terrible fakir. I went to her for some Eastern religious advice, and it was rubbish. She was sitting on a bed of nails, and even that had got corks on the end. Well, it is Australia, to be fair. So, when the mock faint now, I've often thought it would be a great thing to have up your sleeve. A couple of occasions I've actually considered it is just people have said, give us your phone number and and I think, the mock faint? Shall I do the mock faint? But I haven't done it yet. I'd like to feel I have the... I always worry that if you use illness as an excuse for anything, like, a mock faint, or... Like, my girlfriend tells a story that this bloke was... she went out on a sort of a semi-date. They were on the bus. It was that kind
Before
of a date.
she met you, we should say.
Well, a sort of in between.
Oh, don't give us the innards.
Yeah, we've had. Anyway, she was on a bus with this guy, and I don't think she'd mind me telling this story. I'm just going to have a look at my phone in case she's texted just from the setup. No, it's all right. And she decided she didn't want to go on the date after all, and she said to him, "Sorry, my liver's just failed," and got off the bus. And the next day he emailed her and said, "Oh, God, how are you?" And she said, "Well, I'm fine," having forgotten what the excuse. But, I mean, I always think if you say that, some terrible revenge will come back.
Although, in fairness, you could have said that once and it would have been true, Frank, back in the day. Back in your bad days.
Yeah, it never failed. It was sturdy. It was almost made of stone. But I tell you, I remember reading, I think it was in a poem about excuses. And there's one I always use. If you can't make anything, you can't turn up. It says I can't make it. I'm anticipating the delivery of a plum tree, and I've used that, and people don't question it. I like Gareth. We had a meeting this week, and Gareth turned up late, and we said, "What happened?" And he said,
5 minutes. Like I just have
10 minutes late. 10. at 10. And Gareth said, "Oh, sorry, I was in a cafe around the corner having a coffee on my own." Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Is everything all right now?
I was once at university. I was at a mate's house, and there was someone coming round who I didn't particularly want to see. I didn't particularly like them.
And you said I'd been in a cafe having a coffee. Thanks.
No, in the room they had a cupboard, and as I heard them ring the doorbell, I got into the cupboard.
Okay.
But then they just all came and sat down in the room. So I was just in the cupboard.
How long were you in there for?
Well, are you Mr. Timms?
No, only a couple of minutes, and then I realised I should probably just get out of the cupboard.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that was a rash decision. I think you could have given it an hour. Oh, really? Well, that's... I'm loving it. So, another little story from Gareth's life. Fabulous. Anyway, if
This was the soundtrack when I was in the cafe. That's why I got carried away.
Well,
I was whisked off.
So if anyone of our fabulous listeners have ever pulled anything really, come up with a bad excuse, extreme excuse, or an odd excuse for not turning up for something, do let us know, because without you, our lives are empty. Well, they're not actually empty, but they're low. They're near low. You know that bit of electric kettle where you think, I'm just about to get a cop out of this before it starts going, and you think, oh, I've got to ruin the element. That's it.
Frank on
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, all right. That's Razor Light, America.
We've had some text.
Not a bad idea, a razor light, actually. It means you could, like, if you just had one on the razor, like a small headlight, means you could shave in the... You wouldn't be shaving in the dark, but you wouldn't need to put, the room light on.
It's very good. You still need a mirror.
Well, maybe you could have a mirror on there as well.
Frank,
Once you start with your razor-based accessories, where do you stop?
there's some news in. The receptionist man is calling up about the heating. I just thought I'd let you know.
Oh, is he?
Oh, good, he's on it. Well,
If he's on the case, we've got nothing to fear.
Yes, that's good news. So I look forward to that being put right about 7 o'clock tonight. Unfortunately, I shall be out of here. What else? We had any texts? Do say yes.
Yes!
Good news.
We've had some excuses. Gordon in Kirkcaldy once worked with a lady...
Kirkcaldy.
Is it?
Kirkcaldy.
Kirkcaldy, is it?
Oh, the Gordon in
Kirkcaldy.
No, Kirkcaldy, it's pronounced. And isn't Gordon Brown from Kirkcaldy?
Oh.
Is it him?
Maybe.
Oh, OK.
I imagine,
what's the excuse I'm looking forward to? Is it was Tony Blair left it too late for me?
Once worked with a lady that said her father had passed away, only for him to actually die about 6 weeks later.
Oh.
That's a bit like what
so she used
about.
it as an excuse for some reason. Oh,
excuse.
that's not good.
Yes, she didn't just say it. But see, that is a thing, though, that I said. It's about if you use illness as an excuse, it'll come back to bite you on the...
Although I once called into the Gap when I had a summer job there, and I didn't want to go in, and I said I had appendicitis, and I said I'd have my appendix out. So when I did have to go back after a week, had a lovely week off, and this girl went, "Oh, are you all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm a bit better now." And then I clutched my left side, and she said, "Emily, your appendix is on your right side."
Who's she, a doctor?
I said, it's general pain everywhere.
Well, you should have said, obviously, that side isn't hurting. I've had my appendix removed. Stupid.
I'm not as quick as you.
Yeah.
There's a text in from Steve. Hi, Frank. I once managed a well-known supermarket, and the sister of one of our more enthusiastic Saturday workers was due to start a job. We expected great things. When she hadn't shown up after 2 hours after her due time, I rang her to find out what was wrong. She said, "I couldn't make it as I'm a bit tired." I told her not to bother.
Well, that's a strict policy. It doesn't bother them in most of the major supermarkets. Well, I suppose the honesty is something.
I like that he expected great things from her.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder what she was going to do. Perhaps those really pyramidic piles of cans. Fabulous. Rob Deering is our guest this morning. It's worth getting him in just to be able to do this, isn't it? Me and him will be playing Russian roulette a little later on air. On the award-winning Absolute Radio. I'm saying on the award-winning Absolute Radio. Let me hear you say.
We won awards, didn't we?
We did. What a week it's been. We had Elton John for a start-off. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Imagine him on a small piano-type train now going through the studio. Morning, Elton. Got one of those scarves that stick out. Wired scarves that stick out. There he goes.
Dressed like a little Yoda.
Yeah, careful. I spent the whole night. You know, I don't send this in because it's easy to Google, but you know that Rocket Man, and I've always thought, what is that, right? So he did Rocket Man at this week when we went to see him live, and he did. So I happened to catch him in the hallway, and I said, "Cause something I've wanted to know in my whole life." I said, "What is that bit after man?" And he went, "Oh, you mean?"
No, he didn't.
And I said, "What is that? What do you mean?" And he said, "No, that's what I say." I go, he said, "It's based on an alien language from Alpha
No,
Centauri."
it's not.
He said, "Yeah, he did." He said he hopes to become fluent in it one day. But he said, as he admitted himself, he thinks it's going to be a long, long time. Anyway. Yes, so we won awards this week. It's very exciting. For example, I suppose, I don't know if this is exactly qualifies as this show, but sort of. We won Best National On-Air Promotion for Faces for Radio. I don't know if you've seen the Faces for Radio. It's pictures of me and Dave Gorman looking like we just got up
and the OC.
Ill. And the OC looking like Raffles, the jewel thief. Not a hint of tiredness. We also won Best On-Air Sponsorship, Badil and Skinner, Sony Ericsson.
God, this is depressing.
Yeah, it was. It's a little bit like. I was going to burst into tears like the Kate Winslet. Can't think of it.
Gather.
Best. This is. But they won the big one. To be fair to Absolute, they won the big one this week, which is the Radio Academy 2010 Creative Gold Award, sponsored by Veal Associates.
I thought the big one was Best Street Marketing Campaign. Oh, well, I must have got that wrong.
No. Sponsored by Veal Associates. What are Veal Associates? Brawn? Salami? I'm imagining that Veal Associates... If you can imagine that Meat is a small town, pork, lamb and beef would be in the centre of town. And then on the outskirts, there'd be the Veal Associates. Do you know what I mean? There'd be... Or what else would there be? Stuff like belly draft. You know what I mean? There'd be that area. And I can't think of any other odd meats now, but I'm sure we'll get a barrage of... I like the idea of people texting in meats. There isn't enough of this. Would Ben Jones have people texting in meats? Not on your Nelly.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Working towards a mintier world with Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, well. So, yes, that was the Ting Tings, but that's not my name.
Can I just say, you did something of an extraordinary dance while that was on.
Yeah, that's my... I only ever did that dance to that particular song.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it should be captured for posterity.
If only we had a video camera in here.
Posterity, in case you don't know, is a Bottoms museum, which is in Eastbourne, isn't it? I think it's an interesting place.
We've had a text in,
Don't know
Frank.
what time it opens. Sorry, Carrie?
We've had a text in on 81215 from Jack in Redditch. You know, we were talking about excuses and trying to get out of things.
Yes.
He says, "Hi Frank, I was once ill in school on a Monday, and over the following weekend my nan passed away.
Oh.
I then had to have the next Monday off for the funeral. Completely true, but my teacher said, how convenient." She had
See, you've got to be careful.
Yeah. Jack says the teacher had a fall in the playground the week after, so all was well with the world. Jack from Redditch.
Well, that's a bit of a twist on the if you say someone's ill. If you condemn someone for a genuine excuse, then something will befall you. You all right, dear?
I'm just having a fit.
You're not going to faint, are you?
No.
All right.
Gareth
So there's a
had
moment
one.
when you faint. There's a moment when you think I could faint or I can't faint. No, I'll faint. You have to go. You have to go with it. You can say no.
Just because you've never fainted, it doesn't mean it's not real.
Have you fainted?
I've never had tuberculosis. I still believe in it.
Have you not?
No.
I have.
I fainted once at school. There was a program on the computer where you programmed a turtle to draw shapes, and you could program it so it whizzed off and kept repeating the same shape over and over, and I hadn't had much breakfast and I fainted.
Well, no wonder with that sensations cocktail going on. The no breakfast twirling turtle combo would send most people to the ground.
I like the fact that he assumed they were linked, the two things.
Yeah, that's strange.
How could it not be? We've had a listener who'd like to put his mind at rest. He says, 060 says, perhaps there won't be any Brandon flowers this week. If that's the case, could you announce it, please? Then I can enjoy the rest of the show in a more relaxed state.
Oh.
There will be no... No, I've said now instead of no. Can we do that again, Jeff? Live, you say? There will be no Brandon Flowers on my show this week. Okay, I think we've got that out of the way. I feel like, we had to... Like I'm announcing the death of Bernard Matthews. It feels like it was a big, terrible thing that's happened. But anyway, I can't even... We do play Brandon Flowers a lot. Look, I can't... I have no say over the playlist. Relax.
Yeah.
Besides, what is it, 3 minutes? I mean, come on. Make a cup of tea.
We've got Rob Deering coming up next, haven't we? And
I'm
guess
aware
what?
of that.
Yeah, but it's so cold in here, I'm actually embarrassed. Do you know what I mean? You can't invite guests
You can't
round.
see them from here. No, he's very hardy, Rob. He'll be...
He's very cheery.
He is very cheery, yeah. With his big smile.
Oh, lovely big smile, lovely big teeth.
That'll be frozen today. I remember I went to Iceland with David Baddiel, the country, not the yeah, and it was 28 below.
Wow, that's chilly,
proper chilly, and we had to smile for pictures, and our teeth froze.
No, they didn't.
The saliva on our teeth froze.
Really?
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that, would you? Hello? Is my mic gone? Yeah, that's what happens. That's a little anecdote from my life there, you listeners on who I know love these little nuggets. So did Bernard Matthews, I have to say. He loved a turkey nugget.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame.
How convenient.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
You think it's an excuse? They didn't have enough turkeys ready for Christmas. Let's come up with a bereavement. Then we can say, obviously, production stopped. I hadn't thought of that. Ooh. Well, I hope that's true, because if it's true, it means Bernard's still
Have they missed a lot of orders? Is this why they're doing it?
That's what it is, yeah. Quick, come up with an excuse. I've got an idea, it'll be right beautiful. Claim I've died. Actually, can I just say, if any of the friends or relatives of it, which is a shame, obviously, and
I really
saddened,
liked the drummers.
he was part of our...
Turkey drummers are delicious.
Well, I liked him on the adverts. I'm not being disrespectful about it. It was a joke. Get over it. I'm sorry, Mrs. Matthews. I don't know idea you were listening. Oh, God, let's move on quick. I feel we're in turkey trouble.
We only have this extra. This is Frank Skinner.
Absolute
Radio.
Rob Deering has joined us.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Rob. It's lovely to see you. And let's get straight into it. Your recent return from Argentina, am I right?
That's right. I went to Buenos Aires.
What did you do in Buenos Aires?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, because I was falling off things. It was Celebrity Total Wipeout.
How marvellous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Who else was who's being wiped out?
Chico.
It was Chico time.
Yeah, that's right. Do you know he can't ask the time? Because of that.
Of course. He's trapped forever.
He said to a bunch of people, so what time are we having lunch? And they just all went, Chico time!
Oh, no.
He's still left wondering how much more shopping he's got.
What he needs is his own schedule.
Yeah, that's right.
Then he could sidestep that whole
yeah, I mean,
process.
he's got his own schedule.
Oh, is it?
It's Chico time.
Of course it is.
I was trying to get him to start saying things like, it's about a quarter to me.
But he wouldn't, would he?
No, it's not really his way.
I wonder if there's any part of Chico that regrets the whole Chico time thing.
I don't think so.
No, fair enough. You've got a lot closer than I ever will.
Yeah, he's the world's best Chico.
So we won't ask how you did exactly.
I'm not at liberty to tell you how I did.
No, because that's going to spoil people's Christmases.
But in a change of subject, have you ever thrown a rag doll at a balloon?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Just remember that, and that'll give you some idea.
Okay. It was part of a pagan ritual.
Well, no, then it was different.
Okay. But it looks very, very difficult. I mean, near impossible. It's one of those shows. It's like the sort of physical equivalent of Mastermind. it looks virtually impossible.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it was. I mean, it was nightmarishly difficult. Obviously, I may or may not have been absolutely brilliant at it.
No, I know that. But did you get bruises?
No, it didn't. It didn't hurt. I think.
really?
I think that I'm good at falling over. I am. It's So I just you don't fight it. You just let it happen.
Have you ever fainted, Rob?
Me, no. I haven't fainted. I've passed out.
Oh,
Hold on.
hold on. Is there a distinction?
Yes, that's when people are drunk, they pass out.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, there's no judgment.
Well, I
here,
never
Rob.
said that. But yeah, that's
Okay,
yeah.
well, that obviously we've all done that, but we're just trying to establish whether there's such a thing as fainting, or whether it's things that people
There is
do.
a thing. It's happened to me.
I think it's a decision, isn't it? You make.
Yeah, I think so. Well, but that's
not.
different. That's when you pretend to faint.
I think one always pretends to faint. That's my whole point. There is no such thing as a genuine.
But isn't
faint.
there a thing in the whole thing in fiction and the culture of fainting dates from Victorian times?
Swooning.
And that's around the time when people used to wear bodices and not have a bottom rib removed and things like that. So women could be a lot weaker, and also have a lot, like really a dozen children. So in Jane Austen, when someone faints, they had quite a lot of excuses.
Yeah, but I don't think that's big. I think that's. It's not so much tight clothing. It's because love was so unequivocal in those days. When one swooned, one knew one was swooning for life. Whereas now, it's
Yeah.
get a bit bored, off you go. Simple as that. Who's going to faint on those grounds? Anyway, so we'll talk about this a bit more. But you are on tour at the moment.
I am the Rob Deering Experience.
Hmm.
I
Now-
wanted to give you the tour title there.
In case you've never seen Rob, he's not only is he funny, but he's very musical.
Yeah.
He's ever at home with a guitar.
Yeah, I've embraced that for this tour. This is like me and my band.
Oh, you've got a proper band now?
No, it's just me. But
Oh,
it's,
okay.
I'm the only member, but it's definitely a band.
I nearly fainted when you said that. But you see, I didn't. So you've even... anyone who's never been to the Absolute Studios, which, let's face it, is most people, will not be aware that the walls are draped with celebrity guitars.
Yeah, nice
signed
ones.
guitars. There's that Noel Gallagher. Is it a Gretsch, the Union Jack one?
Is it? I didn't look at it. I thought it was a Gibson 335.
Well, I'll take your word. I'll take
I
your
didn't
word
look
for
at
it.
it. Didn't look at it.
Yeah, no, but you know those kind of things. I feel now I've made a bit of a Gretsch fool of myself.
He knows what he's doing, this one.
I think I got mixed up with Gretchen Franklin.
Gretchen Franklin.
Yeah, exactly. Who is mentioned in a false song. Is that what that reference is?
Don't
So,
worry,
but
no
you-
regret.
I'm liking it. I'm liking
I
it.
played a Gretsch country squire once, made
Did
in
you?
1929.
I once read The Diary of an Edwardian Lady. Does that count?
I once ate 6 Mars bars in half an hour.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Extraordinary lie, Rob.
It was from Preposterous Tales in the Lives of Ken Mackenzie by I Ludacris.
I
Great
I
song,
ate
we should
3
play it.
Mars bars in 4 minutes. What happened to Marianne Faithfull? Obviously, it didn't seem to be in the news
God.
anymore. We'll be back with more Rob Deering in just a second.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, Elaine in London has said, hi Frank, I'm an optometrist and have had 5 people faint on me. 4 of them were men after having contact lenses in. So you're wrong.
Yeah, but isn't that a bit suspicious as well? Oh, I've dropped onto the pretty optometrist with now that my eyesight has improved.
I remember of a story of someone who fainted who wouldn't have wanted to faint, so he probably did, if you see what I mean.
Okay, you can't be that enigmatic.
I'm going to tell you, my friend
You've gone
Tom-
Garbo-esque.
I've wanted to be alone. My friend Tom at university, on like the first day when everyone had just met each other, went down to the sports centre to have his blood pressure checked. And in front of a queue of everyone in our year, they pumped up the thing on his arm, and he fainted, clean away onto the floor, and he evacuated his bladder and bowel.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, that's not what you...
Wasn't he just a bit of a character?
Can I say, Frank, I like the way Rob went a little bit Holby doctor there. I like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
The way he talked about it.
Yeah, that's right. He
But that-
evacuated his
Stat. Again, that was a man desperate for the toilet. Thought, how can I do this? I'll combine it with a mock faint. I'll tell you something. I wish Gillian McKeith had gone the whole
That would have made it convincing.
I
wouldn't it?
wish she'd gone for both barrels. That
And
would
she
been
could have investigated
magnificent.
herself just after.
Now, I need to ask you something, Rob. Is it true, and feel free to say that it isn't, that you've had what one might call a sort of paranormal experience on this tour that you're on?
You're talking about haunted toilets?
I am talking about haunted toilets.
No, it was just a bit scary. It wasn't paranormal as such. I was at the White Rock Theatre in Hastings, which seems weird to specify, because there aren't that many.
Oh no, but in a ghost story, they always give you a little bit of specifics to make it
Yeah,
more
that's
real.
true. Well, they said that they just kept mentioning it. It was last weekend, and it was, it was already getting a bit cold, and it's a big place. We had a nice. I was in the sort of room downstairs, a nice audience, but the whole rest of the theatre was kind of empty, and because little Jimmy Osmond isn't there yet. I don't know if that started yet, but
What was his excuse?
He was in Liverpool,
Oh, okay.
catching up with an old flame. Yeah, they just said, "Oh, this place is a bit haunted." Now, I don't know why they mentioned it. They kept saying, "Oh, yeah, there's a couple of ghosts here." I was like, "Yeah." And then twice while I was there, because I was there for a few hours, I went to the toilet, and
Fair
both
enough.
times there was no light on in quite big toilet blocks.
Yeah,
In complete darkness.
complete darkness.
Yeah, I mean, I really, aside from the paranormal issues, I had to be very careful.
Of course.
And they just would say, "Oh yeah, it's up there, 2 flights up that way. Help yourself." A lot of ghosts in this place. And then, that's all I need to do then is go and have a wee in the dark, thinking about whether it was haunted.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, I turned round and there was a big mirror in the darkness behind me. So a huge dark figure loomed out
Oh,
over the
God.
sinks.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Thank God you're in a toilet.
Yeah.
Do you think that's where the ghost thing came from, the darkened mirror?
Yeah, I mean, I think that because I was confident that was my reflection, and I got over that.
Yes.
I did
Although
say-
you don't normally look like a little old Victorian lady.
No, you don't get that. Perhaps if I fainted more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a stitch back. Let me write that down. Yeah, so you're not convinced.
No, it was more. They more gave me the willies. It wasn't. I don't think there's any.
Okay, well, we'll leave that right now.
I've tried it. People are very dismissive of the whole ghost thing.
They are.
Yeah.
I sense that you might be one of them.
No,
am I
not
right?
really. I'm quite into it, but I don't want to. I don't want people thinking I'm silly.
I like into it like it's Radiohead.
Yeah, man.
I'm into ghosts.
Yeah,
But people are mega into it. Well, only last week we was talking to Rhys Shearsmith about... actually, though he's in a play about ghosts, I don't think he actually believes. That was the sense I got. We're going to talk more about Rob Deering's tour in a minute. Because I want to find out where we can see Rob Deering in the near future.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, the softest, mintiest show in town. Sponsored by Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
Rob does a quiz called Beat This, which is sort of a pop quiz, but with nothing except you, if you know what I mean, and the contestants. That you are a sort of music machine.
yeah. It's all live. That's the fun bit.
So Rob plays guitar, and you have to try and recognise stuff, and that it's very great fun to play. I competed in it quite recently, and may I say, Rob's a bit strict as a question master. Am I right?
Oh, is he?
Rob, I think of Rob as a very genial chap, but on the
Yeah.
night he was saying, "Look, I don't want any of that. No conferring. No, I'm serious. No conferring. Really, I like a man who takes a quiz.
Well, if you're going
Absolutely.
to play a game, you've got to play it right.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I've had some big rows with people about board games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because you got to be in it to win it.
Well, what's the point otherwise? You do it for fun, but the best way to have fun is you do it properly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm with you totally.
If you cheat, you're just cheating yourself.
I also agree with that.
And then the person you're cheating.
And yeah, obviously you're cheating as well.
Yeah.
And you're cheating yourself into winning, whereas they're being cheated
They're
and
being
losing
cheated out
without
winning.
deciding to
Well, we
cheat.
don't know that they're losing. It might be cheating as a last effort on your way to losing yourself.
Yeah, so you're just trying to win a bit of your
Well,
self-respect back.
it's like you've lost everything.
Well, what kind of self-respect have you got if you're cheating?
None.
Oh, I've got plenty, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
You've got none with your regular mock fainting. So where can we see you, Rob?
If you're in London, you can see me on my only London date of this tour tonight at the Mildmay Club in N16.
Stoke Newington.
Yeah.
Anywhere near the fabulous cemetery?
It's not that near. It's closer to Islington than that.
I like a nice cemetery, and that's a beauty.
Abney
in Stoke
Park.
Newington. It
Yeah,
is,
where the Booths who started the Salvation Army are
Oh, really?
interred.
Wow.
Is that right? Because
Yeah.
I thought the Salvation Army bloke was buried in Bon Hill Cemetery, where William Blake, Daniel Defoe, and John Bunyan lie.
I'm
I
pretty
can't
sure
believe
that-
we're discussing cemeteries on
I've seen the
Absolute
graves of the
Radio.
booths.
There isn't enough cemetery talk on commercial radio. I've said that. If I've said that once, I've said it twice. So what else are you up to, Rob? You're a man who rarely rests on the work front.
No,
am
I
right?
keep them busy. I've got lots of gigs between now and Christmas, but the tour is, there's 2 more dates. There's one in Fareham and one in Portsmouth, and they'll be fun. And then it's Christmas gigs. Mainly I'll be in Brighton.
So, as I say, I think of you as a very musical man, but it just occurs to me, I don't really know things like what your favourite band is and stuff like that. You seem to be a man... You seem to be a musical everyman.
Yeah, I'm eclectic, but I tend to, I try and do jokes about the canon, songs everyone's going to relate to.
But when you're alone...
Yeah, I listen to... It's still pretty diverse, but much more obscure. I like a bit of bleepy bleepy music, film music, John Barry, Flaming Lips, Like You Fall, very nice, when I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
They made a lot of records. But, I'm all over the place. I'm a magpie. It's pick and mix for me.
Yeah, you're actually a magpie.
Yeah. Yeah, give me a salute, 'cause there's only one of me.
There's only one.
I bring
you
sorrow.
You bring sorrow to my show. With your long hair and your eyes blue, only thing I ever get from you. Join in.
It's
Sorrow. Everybody, come on, let me hear. Sorrow. Oh, I'm loving it.
Do you know that Bowie wrote Golden Years for Frank Sinatra?
No.
Yeah, true fact.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you know that Elton John wrote Tiny Dancer for Wayne Sleep? No, he kept that under his hat. I'll tell you what else he keeps under his hat. No, we won't go into that. So look, Rob, it's been absolutely fabulous talking to you, as ever. You're such a nice man.
I love him.
So go and see Rob, 'cause he's very funny. And if you love comedy, you'll love him. If you love music and comedy, you'll double love him. That was Rob Deering.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Right, we've had some texts in on 81215. We've got a pavement racing text. This could be one of my favourites. Frank, I realised that I too am a pavement racer.
You see, again, he's insisting on pavement race. The lunatics have taken over the asylum.
But I do it with a sack truck with a lot of mail and freight on it, delivering around the city of Adelaide in South Australia. And I burn people with briefcases and satchels. All day, every day. Does that mean I'm in some kind of heavyweight division of pavement racing?
Yeah, you are. I mean, that's an a sack trunk is one of those things you push, isn't it? That looks like
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
So there's no mechanical aid. I'd say that that's handicap racing.
He does say, Al, his name is, as you are the godfather of modern-day PR, any
Yes.
information would be great.
Yes. Do you think he was? That should be for Charles Sargent. Yeah, well, I'm very glad to it. What I like now, we're starting off talking... I want to start calling it pavement racing as well. We started off talking about, the standard stuff I'm doing, and there's been people there's variations. Smashing.
We've got a fainting email from Corporal Paul. He
Corporal.
He says, I see where you're coming from, Frank, with the no fainting thing, but it does exist. I fainted while on the parade ground in the army, and the bayonet on the end of my rifle went through the top of my shoulder. I've not fainted since.
Well, I mean, he could have lost an entire epaulette.
Where is he based?
Currently listening with the lads in the guard room in Cyprus.
Oh, hi, lads.
Oh,
Hi,
calm down,
lads.
calm down.
Oh, I love those lads.
The guard room, isn't that the prison?
I think it's the room for the guards.
Oh, I don't want prisoners.
Don't you get? I think they might.
I don't want prisoners. I want
I don't want to do
soldiers.
them a disservice. Don't get me wrong. I don't
I'm-
want to do them a dismilitary service.
I hate to say it, Frank, but this sort of backs up your theory, because he says that he fainted and then the bayonet went through his shoulder and then he's not fainted since.
No.
So basically he's
The
decided
question
not
is,
to do it again.
I suspect he didn't hit the ground because the support thing. He was like a tripod, suspended there.
It's like a camera.
Yeah. Yes, that's what tripods are often beneath. Oh dear. What else? Okay, I'll tell you something.
Well, I've got something else, actually, which is we've had 2 conversions today.
Have you? There was the loft, and what was the other one?
I wondered why we had those posts up.
Oh, and I'd become a Presbyterian. I remember. I forgot that one completely.
Hi, Frank. You've totally converted me to the Fall. Can you
Oh,
please let me
wonderful.
know from which album White Lightning is taken from? And dear Frank, I'm 14 and I've been converted to the Ways of the Fall, and of course Emily is gorgeous. Oh, I love that.
That's a good question. Which album is White Lightning from? I played White Lightning because I saw the Fall on Tuesday night in Camden Town in London, and they ended with White Lightning. That was their. I thought that would be apt. I was going to play Muzarewi's Daughter, which they played, which is from the album Dragnet, and they haven't played for many years apart from this last week. But
But you know,
I was told it wasn't suitable for Saturday morning listening. Can you believe
So
that?
did you enjoy the Fall gig?
No, so I played the Frog Chorus by Paul McCartney. Now maybe everyone's happy. Yes, I did. I tell you what, though, I went to, first of all, on my way to the Fall gig, I went to the King James Bible launch, which I think I told you about last week.
Extraordinary cocktail.
Yes, the Duke of Edinburgh was there. And he didn't speak, the Duke of Edinburgh.
Oh, that's
for the
relief.
best.
Yeah, he got up and he stood right by the microphone, and they gave him a free Bible, and everyone thought he was going to speak, and then he walked off the stage.
Did he?
I'm thinking, you know, they say he's winding down now next year because he's 90 in June. He's going to stop doing public.
Oh, is he?
I think he's going to do a few completely mute public performances as a wind down, just to get him used to him not being there.
Mime.
Yeah, and then he did do a thing that he was being pulled by an imaginary rope. Which I think represented the state. But anyway.
White Lightning is from the album Shift Work.
Oh, is it? Thank you very much. I love that, you know. It's like living in a sort of Google world. Anyway, the old Bible thing was very interesting.
Was it?
I met a man...
What did they serve? What are the nibbles like at these things?
they brought out all these bottles of water, but within 10 minutes... It was a lovely Beaujolais. Anyway, I met Professor, and there was loaves and fishes. I thought that won't be enough for all. Oh, I'm stuffed, I said. That'll do me with a loaf. If I couldn't eat another, look at all the crumbs. Anyway, I met Professor Gordon Campbell. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. He's
Was he hello?
no, he's got a very long beard. Oh, he's got a long beard, but he wrote a book. About the King James Bible, and he knows all about it. Yeah, do you know that they printed a version that had a misprint in it that said they missed the "not" out of "Thou shalt not commit adultery." It's absolutely true.
Very popular edition.
Yeah.
Very popular edition, that one.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the one. Is that the one they get the Duke of Edinburgh? Do you think?
That's the one they always put in hotel rooms, I reckon.
If the Duke of Edinburgh's been given that one, it means he can now go and commit adultery if he wants to. He's got the paperwork.
So you went to the Fall after the Bible thing?
I asked if anyone wanted a lift to the Fall gig, and funnily enough, no one did.
Usually you have the Fall at the start of the Bible.
Very good. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
You should have ended it, and you could do that, have the Fall to open, and then end by watching the film Armageddon. It'd be perfect.
Not as good.
Not as
Should
good.
have stopped halfway, I thought. One of those.
He's gone too far.
Yeah, that's what he's done. Anyway, our guest... can I just say, Timothy West got up and read a large chunk of Matthew's Gospel. Judge you not, for as you judge, so shall you be judged. Which, to be honest, if I'd have been paid last week, I would have said to Simon Cowell. Anyway, he read all that out, and he read a whole, lovely in his actor's voice, a whole chunk of Matthew's Gospel. And I said to this chap, I said, what did you think of that? He said it was a bit retro. What do you mean by that? It was a bit retro. It's the Bible. Anyway, next week our guest is Lee Mack. How good is that? Not the Weekend podcast is available on Wednesday. I'm plugging the Not the Weekend. Don't ever interrupt me when I'm doing that. Original, different material from this show. You can only hear it on our podcast. So that's on Wednesday. That'll be available. Ben Jones is next. Is there anything else? There goes Elton in his little piano type train. Boy, yes, exactly. See ya. Take care of yourself.
Should we do a standing ovation? We did a lot of standing ovations.
I'll let him pass first. Let him pass. Yeah, we did a lot of I've never done so much standing in my life. Anyway, it's Jones time. I think that's what we should say. It's been lovely being on today, as it always is. And God bless you all. Good day to you.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. with Trebor Soft Mints, bringing a softer, mintier feel to your Saturday morning.
Absolute Radio.